and find him a man that don't know nothing about Luke and live over there. Or go to a whole different state and start all over again. Well, matter of fact, you can't because you at Freaknik shaking your ass. I know when they said they was going to do that Freaknik documentary, bitches was wary. I could feel the tension boiling over, but before things got too bad, my dad stepped in. He made two rival gang members shake hands, forcing peace that night. It was a moment of calm before the storm. The police officers eventually shut down the party, directing traffic as more people arrived, flooding our streets. I knew people from all over Broward or Dade County. It was a scene one should have been proud of, but deep down, I was searching for something more. I was trying to figure out who I wanted to be. At 14, I was caught in a strange place between being a teenager and feeling like I had to grow up too fast. Home life was suffocating, and my mother constantly reminded me that I could not abandon the family, that I would need to take care of them. The pressure was unbearable. I was terrified of homelessness, and now she was hinting that all that responsibility would soon be on my shoulders. We still had Section 8 and food stamps to keep us afloat, but barely. My mom did not work, and my dad was in and out, never really staying long enough to feel like he was truly there. I was making some money too, which made life a little more comfortable. I could buy things for myself and my family, give us nicer holidays, but even with that, there was always something missing. There were no family nights, no moments planned by my parents that made us feel close. I do not have memories of us sitting together, feeling like a real family. Whatever bond we had before moving to Florida had dissolved. I saw it, though, in the homes of my friends. I saw the way families could be, how they could laugh and connect. I knew it existed, and I longed for it. I longed for love, for a connection, for someone to make me feel like I mattered. And deep down, I just wanted to be loved. One of the most well-known groups I toured and danced for was Two Live Crew. At 14 or 15, I did not understand the full gravity of being part of their shows, but even after just a few performances, I knew something did not feel right. Pause. To this day, Luke, he'll say, I don't know what the hell is going on with that lady. I don't know what that lady is talking about. You don't know what that lady is talking about, but I bet you know what that child was talking about. You took advantage of that little girl. And to them little girls, they were fast because they was trying to hang around grown men. Them Luke dancers, they could have been just as attractive, just as sexy over age. Just like the Arkells. It's grown women that's 18, 19, 20, 21 years old that look like they 16. Trust me, you could have had that same fetish, could have had that same excitement, and they could have been over 18. The fuck? You running around here getting excited and having a 14 or 15-year-old shake their ass for you. What is wrong with you? What is wrong? These niggas are terrible. Luke, you a terrible bitch. God gonna get you for that, Luke. Stop running around here talking about, I don't know what that lady talking about. You know what that little girl talking about, though. You know goddamn well you exploited that little girl. God gonna get you, motherfucker. You better don't stop, get that. And the woman who would marry a nasty motherfucker that would have children, shaking their ass for them, bitch, God gonna get you too. At 14 or 15, I did not understand the full gravity of being part of their shows. But even after just a few performances, I knew something did not feel right. The parties and the concerts were beyond anything I had ever experienced. Wild, is too tame a word to describe what I saw on the road with them. The energy was chaotic and sometimes it felt dangerous. I did not like it. My heart would race, not with excitement, but with anxiety. The men became aggressive, their voices rising above the music, their movements intense and uncontrolled. They reveled in the frenzy of it all. But what confused me the most was the women. They loved it to feed off the chaos, matching the men's energies. That's because them bitches halfway retarded too. Shit. Fucking lustful ass bitches. And they just as stupid as you. They don't understand that they're just being exploited, and one day they're going to grow up to be somebody's mama. They're going to try to be somebody's wife. And they're not going to get respected the way that they want to be respected. They're going to have to go over to Africa and find them a man that don't know nothing about Luke and live over there. Or go to a whole different state and start all over again. Well, matter of fact, you can't because you at Freaknik. Shaking your ass. I know when they said they was going to do that Freaknik documentary, bitches was worried. Doctors, lawyers, bitches was worried. They loved it to feed off the chaos, matching the men's energy. I often wondered if they genuinely enjoyed it or if, like me, they were just playing a part, trying to survive in a space that felt overwhelming and hostile. The truth is, I did not dance for them because I loved it. I danced for them because they were one of the biggest groups in Miami at the time. Being associated with 2 Live Crew gave me credibility. It was important, and at that age, I thought that kind of recognition mattered. Everyone wanted me to be their dancer on tour, and for a while, I got swept up in that excitement. 2 Live Crew, nasty as they want to be. They lived up to their reputation. Luke, their leader, took a particular liking to me. At first, I did not think much of it. He was around my mother's age, and I saw him as a father figure, someone who could guide me in the world that felt too big for me. I did not see his attention for what it really was, obsession. All pimps get obsessed with the bitch that bring them money. All pimps get upset with the bitch that brings them the most money. You're welcome, Jamelki. He paraded me around like a trophy, showing me off to people in the industry, praising me to athletes, actors, and other artists I had only ever seen on TV. I was flattered. He made me feel important, like I belonged in this world of fame and success. At the time, I was too young and too naive to see that his intentions were anything but honorable. Looking back now, I can see that it was all manipulation, the grooming process. He would tell me that I was different, that I was not like the other girls, the ones he called his bags of tricks. They carried bags filled with sexual toys and other degrading things. He told me I was special, that I did not belong in that group, and I believed him because I did not know any better. I wanted to believe that I was different, but eventually the truth became impossible to ignore. After a few incidents, one of them devastating, I stopped dancing for him. That moment is something I will never forget. I cannot say that I forgive him for what he did, but I have learned to forgive myself. I was so young, so innocent, walking blindly into something I did not understand. How much y'all want to bet that she was around here selling pussy for him? God gonna get you, bitch. God gonna get you, Luke. And the bitch that married you. Any dumb man. Oh, I'm married to Luke. Fuck Luke. You know what I used to say in life when I used to meet dirty people and people who were not cool? I would say, you ain't scared of the afterlife? You ain't scared when one day you gonna stand in front of those pearly gates and meet your maker? You ain't afraid of that? Baby, I'm not perfect, but I do move like I'm afraid of the afterlife. There have been moments where I just was having so much fun that I didn't want to think about it. But now I repent all the time for some of the things that I've done wrong in my life. Okay? The ones that I know that I was doing wrong, I apologize for. I do. I know God didn't got me back, but anyway. As I grew older, I realized that if Luke had ever shown remorse for what he did, if he had changed in any meaningful way, I would feel different. But instead, as I became more successful on my own without him, he grew bitter. He became obsessed in a new way, determined to tear me down. He authored a book slandering my name and went on a radio tour to drag my reputation through the mud. I don't know why. Why would you drag a child's reputation? Okay, maybe as she got older, she wasn't a child, but when she was dealing with you, she was a child. So how the fuck a child, she 15 or 16. She's a child. And I don't give a hell when nobody say, oh, she knew what she was doing. She probably did. But she knew what she was doing through a child's mind. She was a child, bitch. He became obsessed in a new way, determined to tear me down. He authored a book slandering my name and went on a radio tour to drag my reputation through the mud. But that is a story for another time. I have noticed a pattern with people like him. Those who come into my life, even when I do not want them to, they develop an obsession, a need to control me. It is as if when they cannot have a piece of my light or claim some part of me, they try to find ways to dim it. Okay, Gloria, you might be going too far to the left with that. All I think he was trying to do was get in front of it, because what a nigga don't want to be known as is someone who had a teenager, a minor, selling vagina for him. So what he wants to do is get in front of it and tell people you're a liar. So you cannot put the truth out there. All that other shit you talking, I don't know. I don't know about dimming no lights and, pulling the shades down and walking in, a mile in somebody else's shoes. I don't know that. What I do know is that he's trying to protect himself. And if you're the casualty of him protecting himself, then, oh, well, purr. He did not just want control. He wanted possession. He wanted to mold me into something that suited his own desires. I could feel in the way he talked about me like I was an object, something to be displayed. At that time, I did not have the words to explain that feeling, that sinking sense that I was losing pieces of myself to someone else's vision of me. When I stopped dancing for him, it was not just the decision to step away from the stage. It was me reclaiming my identity, myself, my sense of self. The truth is, I was not ready for what came next. I was not prepared for how deeply Luke would take my rejection. His need to control me did not just disappear because I walked away. If anything, it grew stronger. He could not handle the idea that I could thrive without him, that I could build something on my own, that his influence over me has ended. Like I said, I don't know if it's what she's saying, because remember, this is the same girl who fell in love with the nigga that tried to drug her, okay? That roofied her. Not tried to, but he did. He roofied her, okay? Or watched it happen, right? She fell in love with that. So her interpretation on life is a little askew. I wouldn't be surprised if she was a Pisces. I am a Libra, but my moon is in Pisces, and sometimes my sense of reality is askew. Okay, but I don't know about that. I just believe he was trying to protect him, and in protecting him, he might destroy you. At 15, you would think my mom might show some kind of compassion, especially with my dad sick and dying of AIDS, but there was no tenderness between them. Not even the faintest attempt of friendship or understanding.